I'm ready.
Let's go to the intro. This is the intro we did for the show, but we're not musical, as you may know. So we'll keep it just for a bit, as we do have words that kind of fit. If you can, make a better one, send it in, and that'll be fun, because we'll use it, get everyone laughing, because this one is embarrassing. TJ, I thought you could dance at this bit.
No.
TJ, are you dancing?
No, I'm not.
So come along and watch us code, make some stuff, and help you know that not much rhymes with draft. We'll make game for a laugh.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Game for a Laugh with myself, Adam, and
I'm TJ.
There we go. This is the last week before we break up for holidays.
Woo!
Yeah, exciting times. And so even though you guys haven't been at school, we're just going to say it's the holidays anyway. It's not like anyone's really had a holiday. They've just had this weird kind of... What has it been?
Blur.
A blur.
A blur.
Yeah. There we go. So we're going to make a game over the next 3 sessions. And it's going to be about... Go on, TJ.
Encouragement.
Yeah, you said that really well, TJ. You're just so good at doing that stuff. You're just so good.
As opposed to normal, where I butcher everything.
No, you're so good, TJ. Oh, TJ, I think you just improve all the time. So tell us what encouragement means, TJ.
So encouragement is what Adam was just doing. It's when you say something to try and boost someone's either self-esteem or just tell them that they're doing something right and kind of keep them motivated. Now,
encouragement is slightly different to lying, because sucking up to people or buttering them up or other ruder phrases where you're trying to just say something nice to people to get something out of them. Encouragement's not about that. Encouragement's about building that person up and nothing to do with you. So you encourage someone not because you want something, but because you're helping them achieve. And as you know, as people who teach, it's just so important to teaching. Just so important, and it's one of the main reasons we use Click Team Fusion. Like it's not what professionals might use to code, but you're able to make things so quickly. It's easy to encourage. With other software, it might take a week or so to do what we do in one session, and so we can just encourage people a lot more and see things grow much quicker. So we're going to use Click Team Fusion again today. We're using the free edition, and it's available at clickteam.com. We'll start a new application. TJ will be monitoring, as always, the Facebook feed, and if you want to say anything, please do, and he will respond by either tippy tapping or typing, or by
tapping.
Yeah, or saying out loud. So I'm going to start by saving my file. Important thing to save your work, because you never know when you can lose it. So my keyboard is now a different keyboard. Oh, all the letters worked. Encouragement. Good, great. Happy about that. Now, the application window that we make, it says the pixels of width and height. Now, TJ, just a quick definition.
That is the resolution.
It is the resolution, TJ. Come on. It is the resolution.
The resolution is the proportions of the pixels on screen. So, for example, if you have it by 720, that is HD ready, but to have it in full HD or high definition, you would have it in 1080, and this means it has more pixels in screen.
Yeah.
So
the higher the resolution, the higher the resolution, the more pixels there are.
So sharper and clearer, and a bit better picture quality.
And pixels are the building blocks of the computer. So if I was to zoom in, I probably can show you if I write the letter I, normally that's 1 pixel big. There's the J. Nearly an I. It's close enough. There you go. That little dot above the I can't point at it. There we go. It's 1 pixel. That's one. It's 1 pixel when I go to that size.
Oh, of course, because there's the little brown shadow.
Yeah,
on
there's
my
a little
screen next to
it.
So,
sorry, there was 2 dots. Yeah, sorry about that. That's anti-aliasing, which is another one. Anti-aliasing is to stop edges, make edges look smooth, even though they're made out of squares. So what you do is you put a fuzzy square in between the solid squares to make things look smooth. That's right. Anyway, fine. Right, let's get on with actually making something because we're doing great, TJ. Doing great.
Doing great.
So, what I thought for this game, but please interject with any ideas that you guys might have, is I thought it might be a good idea to have a kind of conveyor belt system because we thought one way that a game builds up encouragement that TJ said about was. Do you remember TJ? Rhymes with Lambos. It rhymes with Mambos. It begins with a C.
Combos.
Yeah,
Combos.
It doesn't really rhyme, but anyway. Yeah.
So what I said then.
You said combos. And so how does that help encourage the player?
So in some games, if you get a combo multiplier, they call them, normally you get a different bit of text appearing on screen. So let's say you get to 10, it'll be like, this is a good combo. If you get to like 20, it's like super. And the writing might get bigger or more colourful, and it just makes you feel like you've really started achieving something. So you want that momentum to keep going.
Yeah, and they build up the phrases, don't they? So
yeah,
hyper, incredible, outstanding,
ultimate combo.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm just not gonna bother about the artwork at the moment. I'm just going to define that there's a red item and a blue item. And I've turned the tolerance, which jargon, but I won't press the button. We used it too much. How much the fill bucket will fill that's different to the colour that you've clicked on. So we've got a red one and a blue one. And I'm going to make it so that they are controlled by the computer. So we're going to use the inbuilt bouncing ball movement, which doesn't mean it needs to bounce, it just means it can. And we're going to say that they are move at speed 20. Now they're going to move at any direction, so I'm just going to change the initial, meaning the first direction, to the right. Now when I run my application, the computer runs the code, and you can see that the red one's moving nicely, but we have a bug. And I think it's the fact that I haven't changed the movement. haven't changed the movement of the other one. As simple as that.
One of my gaming symbols in the background has been spotted by chat.
Oh, very good.
Very vigilant. Very vigilant.
That's good. And your cup. Show us your cup again. Spotted this earlier. Ooh, can I name them? So Xbox, PlayStation, SNES, N64, and Atari, I think.
Yes.
Ooh, living the dream.
It says choose your weapon.
Yeah. To be fair, I feel Xbox pads are the most robust ones. You could definitely cause an injury if you threw that at someone. Don't throw your pads at people, guys.
Yeah.
Please
They're
don't.
expensive.
They're really expensive now. I remember when it used to be sort of like 20 quid for a pad. It's like 60.
Now it's 55 or something.
Yeah.
To get just the normal official ones.
Yeah. Crazy. Right. Okay. So we're going to have a section where you have to move the blocks to. So these are going to come along, and I'm going to move them to the grey area, which means they're outside of the screen, outside of the play area, it gets called, and so that they come on from the screen. Then I'm going to have another item. So when the player isn't actually going to be movable, the player's going to control objects. So we're going to have this as a claw. I don't know. TJ will do some graphics before next session. So okay, let's have just a claw thing. I say claw. There's nothing claw-like about it. So there we go, and we'll put it on a path movement. Now I put the hotspot at the very tip, just at the bottom there, which means that when I do the path movement, that's where I say it goes to. So in the movement, I choose path movement, or path, if you don't want to pronounce it in a kind of southern way. And I want it to get to there. I also want it to loop the movement and reverse at end. Oh no, I don't want it reversing at end. I just want it to loop the movement, and I want it to go back to the beginning because I want it to. I pulled the wrong thing. I want it to. This is tricky. Click off and then click on. There we go. I want it to stop once it goes back to the beginning. So I don't want it to loop the movement. I don't want it to do that. I want it to just reposition at end. So it will go forwards and then back. If I run the game, it should just go forwards and back. Great.
Once the microphone is started cutting.
On mine?
Yeah.
Does this help?
No, it's doing that thing where it kind of as you're talking, it cutting out mid like words.
Okay. Is they getting that on the chat or just you? Because
I will check now.
okay. Dun, dun, dun. So yes, I will carry on and just hope that people can hear me. Otherwise, just make up what I'm saying. Just imagine.
How do I turn down the? Oh, wait, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a claw here, and then we've got one.
Yeah, I can hear you fine in the actual.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Then you'll just have to put up with it for the moment. Oh, you muted me. Okay. Yeah, you muted me. So, or I muted myself. Someone got muted. Right, let's continue on. So, and then this claw is going to grab from this side, like that. And so, I'm going to call this TL for top left, and then this one TR for top right. All right. And so, TJ, have you got any friends who are encouraging to you, apart from me, obviously?
I have a few really close friends, and we try and help each other stay on top of things. So if we're going through a stressful time out, we'll check in on each other, and they'll do the same for me. They'll just be like, especially through lockdown, it's been kind of like people have had to check how people are because we can't see each other in person, so we don't know how each other are. But yeah, I have a few friends, and it's nice to have a very close group where you can check in on each other. It's healthy.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I'm someone who's easily put off by things. I get really enthusiastic about something, but if the first thing that comes along sort of goes wrong, I can quite easily just not do it. I've got loads of websites that I've started and never finished with ideas and things like that. And so if something comes along, I think, well, maybe not. And so having people who encourage me, which you do, TJ, and other friends do, is just so important. So here we go. I've now set it so that I've got 4 claws, all that will grab to a different height. So let's have a look. There we go. And something's really wrong with that top right claw. It goes off. No, that worked okay. No. Okay. They just need to be longer. So I'm going to extend the claws that go longer. Now we use the resize here, and we don't tick any of these boxes. This will stretch it, so we don't want to stretch it. And so we want to make the height much bigger. Apply that, and you can see that it's grown with this checkerboard, this chessboard picture. That's see-through. And that's the colour I use, see-through. This one's more interesting because it always grows downwards. If I grow it now, it means that I'll need to actually move all this section downwards, and then I'll need to move the hotspot as well. So growing something downwards is harder than growing it upwards by the fact that everything needs to be repositioned. Oops. But there we go, it's easily solved. I used the eyedropper tool, get the colour, fill it in. Oh, tolerance was so high it got rid of my end bit, so I need to change the tolerance down. There we go. Right, now this might look a bit more normal now. There we go, great. Apart from these need to be longer. Oh, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to stretch them. I'm just going to click on them and stretch them. Who cares? Who cares about the artwork? And why is it dangerous to spend so long on the artwork, TJ, at the beginning of a game?
Say that one more time. Cut out just at the.
Why do we recommend that you leave the artwork till the end? Why do you?
So artwork is normally left till the end because.
Sorry, I should be encouraging you to do. Sorry about my audio.
So we normally get all the code out of the way.
Oh, I tell you what I could do, TJ.
Building blocks of the game. That's going to be the harder part, and that's going to be probably the most stressful part as well. So we normally work on getting through that, make sure the game works. So you've got so we use things called placement holders, which is coloured block to represent an object, and then at the end of the game when everything's working stuff, that's when you can work on it being like looking a lot more colourful and just looking better and representing the characters properly.
It cut out a bit, but we got the main gist. That was good, TJ. Do I sound better? I've changed my mic options.
Yes, I can hear you fine. I'll double check
good.
the sound volume in chat.
It shouldn't have changed anything, hopefully, but yeah. So I'm just testing that if a claw is on top of an object and the claw has reached a node. Now the nodes are the blocks that I drop down. Then that means, I need to put that first. That means that it's come to the end, so it should grab it at the end. So now, what I've done here is I've got 4 different claws, 2 different objects, which means that I'm going to have to create 8 different rules unless I do something to simplify it. So I'm going to put everything into a shout out group or qualifier. Either is the correct answer. So we're just going to put these in a qualifier. So the claws, we will give them a qualifier name of, I don't know, what do you want to pick? Anything, they're all there for your choosing. Arrow, we'll choose an arrow. Okay, and then for these things, we will put them in a qualifier called shapes, shields, shapes is fine. Shapes, great. So now we can just say if a claw, any claw, has reached at the end a node of its path and it's overlapping any of the shapes, then we're going to use our flags again. Yay! Now flags are just a way of checking if something's on or off, true or false. Court.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give them a flag called court. Okay, and I want to turn it off at the beginning, and we will turn the flag on. Flag set on. Court. We'll also get it to remember which claw caught it. Now, every single object in Click Fusion has its own ID value. So when the program runs, it creates an object and it has an identification number next to it. Now, we can use that number by just having another object grab it, so we can find its fixed value. Now, the fixed value is just its number. So when objects get created, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and whatever in the game, they keep that number until they're destroyed. So that way it knows. So we can say a new condition that if a block, if it is caught, if its flag is on, caught, and if the ultra value, or we'll say if the arrow's fixed value equals the value of the object that's been got, so it's been caught and it matches, then we will set its position, we'll stop its movement and set its position, select position to be relative to the claw, meaning it's going to follow the hotspot. So if it gets caught, it should follow the hotspot. Now, I don't know whether this is going to work or not, but I also know that these things move at the beginning, and that's going to be impossible for me to time without adding some controls in. So to test it, I'm going to just place them. One here and one here. Okay, let's see if they get grabbed. Yep, good. Got grabbed. Although I'm not sure where the hotspot is on this one. It seemed to get taken down. No, hotspot's at the top. Good. It seemed to get taken down further though than the other ones. So let's just watch that one more time. Keep your eyes on the red one. Ooh, keep your eyes on the red one. Watch the lady. Watch the lady. Where'd she go? I think we have an issue. I think this red one is teleporting to be under the blue one. I think that it's not following the right thing.
I'm with you.
So the way I'm going to check that is just send it to the front, order to front. Now it'll be on top. We'll see it if it is. Yeah, that's what was happening. Now, the issue that I think we've got is that it looks through this code and it says, oh, have any been caught? Any at all? Yeah, one of them's been caught. Okay, well, let's find the value of the claw and move the shapes there. But it's not, it's doing it for all of them rather than just one. So I'm going to add in a rule to say check them one by one when you do this. Now, TJ,
Yes.
do you have any thoughts about a question we can ask the audience? And in order to encourage them to answer, we have a Cadbury's. This is a caramel version today to answer about encouragement.
Okay, I want to start off with a question about other people. So I want to know from chat how you would encourage someone else, or you can actually use an example of when you have encouraged someone else.
Very good. So yeah, have you and how have you encouraged someone else? So we've put a loop on this called check, which means that it will check and put that first. So it will check, and now it's checking. Now we put this rule at the top. It's only going to check them one by one, and this always rule runs it that it's always going to run the check command. So theoretically that should work, but I've been wrong before. There's a slight issue there. I wouldn't expect that. Well,
they're switching places.
They are switching. Look at that. How interesting. I think we also need to probably reverse this and say that we need to check the value is equal to the fixed value and do it that way round. Let's try that. So it's trial and error sometimes with coding. Nope. That's broken it. We were closer with the other one, so let's go back to the other one. We can run a check command inside another check command. So we could, let's see if this works, we could run a check command for the clause as well. So if it's caught, then, oh, this is going to go horribly wrong. But we'll see.
No, it's going to go right.
Yeah,
you can do it.
I can do it. We can do it. We can get this done. We'll see if we can. All we're making is just to grab something at the moment. And we just want to grab the right thing in the right time. So for each one of these, if... Right. So let's try this. Let's try that. See how this works. Ah, back to the beginning of how bad it was. Okay, so then for each one of those. So then I'm going to just try it the other way round. Now it really matters the order that you do things in programming, but unfortunately I can't remember which order's right. So I'm just trial and error, guys. That's did they switch places again? So yeah. Close. Okay, right. Let's imagine that the issue is with this line of code. So let's always run a check on them and do that, and then we can go back to this. Didn't delete that yet.
We have an answer in the chat.
Yes.
So I've encouraged a friend of mine to continue his pixel art by complimenting all the art he has shown me. For the record, the pixel art he does is incredible. Okay, so
Good.
This is encouragement, and it's not just saying
Flattery
something which, yeah. So that is a very good example. We
good.
Like this.
Great, cool. So now we've got this slight issue. Here we go. Why do we say if it's reached a node in its path? So if a claw has reached the end of its path, then we'll run a check. And if that check is overlapping something and the overlapping thing is not caught. Okay, let's put this in order. A claw has come to the end of its reach. Then run a check for each of them. If it is overlapping a shape and it's not caught, set this caught shape. Shape that. Okay, wait. Let's see if this works. Nearly. Yes. No, exact. This is it. This is right. Because the red one... the red one is overlapping, isn't it? The blue one's fine. Is the blue one... Blue one's in there. The red one's in there. They've both got the same group. But why would it not work? Let's just try moving up a bit higher. Okay. Is it that they're happening at exactly the same time? And that path. Okay, let's get rid of that whole check thing. Let's ignore that. So ignore, if I take out that line, is it still going to work? No, it completely messes up. So that line was helping. So we'll leave it as that. So that line is helping. If I double check, it's reached a node in its path. Still working, but for the red one, nothing. Always run a check if caught is on. So we're going to use the debug window to see what's happening inside. Now the debug window, if we go onto the main game and there goes show debugger. Right. I'm just going to load up this object. So the blue one, we can see everything should be fine. Caught equals true. You can see it written there. And then the alternate values, the value equals 131073. Okay, good. Now, if we have a look at the first claw, the top left claw, and we look at its fixed value, you can see it's exactly the same, 131073. Okay, so the red one should have the same ID as the bottom right claw, but let's see what it's got. So if we have a look at the red block flags, caught is true, so that triggered fine. Alterable values 196610. Good. Okay. If we have a look at the object for the bottom right claw, which might be that one. Nope. Well, the value is different there. I've got two labeled the same. 196610. Exactly what the value is here. So it's everything's running as it should, apart from that final bit here. It checks them, it checks that, and it should position it, but it's not moving the red one, but it is moving the blue one. Interesting. So I'm just going to replace all of these and say only do it for the red one and see if it works. Still not working. Oh, mainly because the loop, it doesn't loop for, there we go. Now, the loop wasn't being run for that. Still not working for the red one. There is something up with this red block here, meaning that its position won't change, whereas the blue one will. Something unique about it that's messing it up. The only other way I can check is by removing the blue block from the game. I'll put it back in a second. And running the application and seeing if it's the issue. No, it is the fact that the red block's got some issue with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try the blue block in paste. And so this problem solving is really key to games making. We know something works, we know something doesn't. What's the difference? So is it the position on screen? It could be, because the blocks there. Is it the fact that there's just more than one thing and it can only handle it doing it for one thing at a time? So if we put this one here, move this one here, they're the same object, so, but it still doesn't grab. Is it that this claw is the only one that works? That's in the group arrows. Is this in the group arrows? Yeah. Is this in the group arrows? Yes, yes. Okay, let's try putting it there. Still. Is it the positioning? If we put it back here, that works perfectly. Right. Is it just the positioning of it? Is it just that I've been so stupid as not to position it in exactly the right place? Let's make another claw and do it. Interesting. So we've come into a bug in the game which really just doesn't make any sense to us. The computer, and it makes sense to the computer. The computer thinks, yep, that's what I should be doing, and that's where it does it. Only follows the instructions we've been given. We've given it, and Click Team has got code that happens underneath the code we've put in. So there's stuff happening behind the scenes, and with the stuff happening behind the scenes, the computer isn't understanding the stuff that we're giving it. So look at that, none of them that time. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to go away and have a think about trying it in a different way, maybe a completely different approach. Maybe I don't worry about nodes of paths. Maybe I could do it on the speed. Maybe I could do it. So if I replace this with a completely different thing, movement compared to the speed becomes 0 when it changes direction. So nope, that's not working. If I just take out that rule altogether and just if it's overlapping, so that's not the issue. So the issue could well be